gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of our Seattle Kraken franchise mode, and it's about time I'm recording another episode here. I'm very sorry for the lack of uploads. A happy Easter to all those who celebrate, and here we are getting ready for the 2031-2032 season. We left off here just after the draft, so we're going to start off today's episode by re-signing our players. I'll look at the players that we have to re-sign here, all UFAs pretty much, and these are all kind of our top forwards. Kamel, Beniers, Wright, pretty much all of our forwards need to be re-signed. So let's get them locked up. Let's sign them up. Kamel's going to get 9.225 here for 3 years. He wanted a trade clause, but he's not going to get it. We're going to offer 6.9 by 5 for Matty Beniers. Same thing. He's not going to get a clause. 6.9 mil for 5 years. No clause here for Will Cooley. We're going to offer a 5 by 5 here for Ty Nelson. That might be a little bit too much, but obviously we don't even have salary cap on. This almost feels like a steal here. Berkeley Catton only wants 875 for 2 years. I don't know if that's some sort of salary cap rule, but nonetheless, he's certainly getting it. He's going to accept our offer right away. Shane Wright's actually only looking for a 1-year deal. We're going to see if we can get him to maybe at least 2 years. He wants a full no trade clause, so if it's a 2-year contract, a short-term contract like that, we'll just give it to him. Jared McCann here, 35 years of age. We might use him as trade bait in this episode. We'll see what happens, but for right now, we're going to extend him to a 2-year deal, and he's going to accept right away. We're going to offer 2.775 here for 3 years for Eli Tolvanen, and he's going to accept right away. We're going to offer 5.475 here is what we're going to offer for 5 years for Jimmy Snuggerud, who we acquired last episode, I believe. So Will Cooley's going to accept his offer. Jimmy Snuggerud's actually going to reject, so we'll work on his offer for him. Same with Shane Wright. Two of our top players rejecting. However, one of our main guys, Matty Beniers, he's going to accept. Same with Joaquim Kamel. Alright, so we're going to offer 1 year to Shane Wright, full no trade clause. He didn't want the second year, and he's going to accept that deal. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the free agency day. And a lot of big names here, including a 94 overall David Pastrnak. He is 35. But this guy right here, Tim Stützle, 93 overall, 29 years of age. Pavel Mintyukov, 27 years of age at a 92 overall. We definitely have to make some moves here. Cutter Gauthier at a 91. We are definitely making some moves, no doubt. This is probably one of the best free agent classes I've seen in a while. But we definitely need to bolster our offense. I'm looking at Cutter Gauthier here. 91 overall, 27 years of age. He's looking for 10.6 for 7 years. He wants a full no movement clause. We'll offer it to him. He'll get back to us. We're going to offer 11.475 here for 7 years. No clause for Cole Caulfield. I highly doubt he accepted! Oh my god! Alright, yeah, I was about to say I highly doubt he accepts it. But Cole Caulfield is now a member of the Seattle Kraken. You know what? Since he accepted right away, let's try to get a defenseman too. Let's go for Owen Power. Yeah, we'll offer a 9x4 here for Owen Power. No clause involved. And he's going to accept it right away. This is crazy. Cutter Gauthier is going to reject us. He's going to sign with the Boston Bruins. However, we did bring in an offenseman and a defenseman. Absolutely what we need here. Let's move on. Nathan McKinnon here at an 85 overall, 35 years of age. How is he falling off this bad? He's only 35. It's only 2031. That is absolutely crazy. Does that usually happen? Offenseman. I know. I just made up a word. All right. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's simulate to our next season here. Our 2031-2032 season. Let's live stream Uno. I don't have Uno. Set our lines here for this season. Obviously, we have some more acquisitions to worry about. Get them into this lineup. Cole Caulfield's going to go on our top line here almost right away. Right away. So our top line is going to be Eklund, Beniers, and Caulfield at a +5 there. Cooley, Wright, and Kamel. Gale, McCann, and Snuggerud there. And Tolvanen, Cat, and Kakko on our fourth line. Dunn and Fox there. 89 overall, 91 overall for a +5. Power and Perek. That's a nice young line there. +4. And we have Lowry and Nelson on the bottom line. And in goal at an 83 overall, Jet Greaves there with an 81 overall Joey Decord. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the home opener, the season opener for our Seattle Kraken here. We're going to be taking on the St. Louis Blues in the first game of the season at Climate Pledge Arena. And without further ado, let's jump into the game. Here we are in Seattle, Washington for season number 7 of our Seattle Kraken franchise mode. And here we are for the opening draw. Matty Beniers and Jordan Kyrie. I jumped on the opening draw. All right. Here's one of our newest members of the Kraken, Cole Caulfield. Beniers with the shot there. Good opportunity to get the scoring very early in this game. Correct. Throws on a shot. Gets deflected there by Eklund and covered by Hofer. This is the first time I've recorded an episode with the chat. With, like, people in the chat. I feel like I'm filming a show with, like, in front of a live audience. Caulfield at the point. He's got power with the one-timer. He misses it. I guess you could say he put up a little too much power. Up to Kamel now on the backhand. Full pressure once again here for the Kraken. Cooley throws a backhand shot. Goes wide. Can we win it behind the net here? Looks like Bertuzzi's got it. Wright gets it. Is that Tage Thompson there on the Blues? Tage Thompson would never play for the Blues. Up to Shalley here. We're running out of time. We'll throw on a shot. Hofer's going to cover. And that's going to do it here for the first period. No score after one. We had a lot of decent chances here. A couple full pressure opportunities. We'll be back for the second period. Beniers here on the wing. He's got speed. He's going to take it on the backhand there. Probably should have had Caulfield there. Beniers here. He's got Dunn on the one-timer there. It's blocked. Oh, okay. That was not the play. Big hit there by Dunn on the boards. Up to Wright. Can't get it across. Shaden right now with speed. He's taking his forehand backhand. Sneaks it in. Oh my god, I don't know what happened there. But there's our first goal of the season from Shaden Wright. I think it just trickled past the 5-hole there of Hofer. I'm not entirely too sure what happened. It might have just rolled in very slowly. But nonetheless, the Seattle Kraken have a 1-0 lead here in this game. Yeah, you can see it there. Just sneaks in. Hofer had no idea where it was. Here's McCann here up to Shalley. He gets it on his off his skate there. 2-0 lead here for the Seattle Kraken. Edward Shalley, his first of the season. 2-on-2 opportunity here. McCann took it to his forehand off the skate of Shalley. Put it on his stick. Actually went off the skate of the Blues defenseman there. By the way, Pedro Frank here from our Seattle Kraken. He's now up to an 83. He's actually making his NHL debut. I had no idea he was in the roster here. Let's see if we can see him on the ice here. Yeah, there he is right there. We'll throw a shot on there off the Hofer. That's going to do it for the second period. 2 goals here in the second period for the Seattle Kraken. One of them coming right here from Edward Shalley. Third period here, about to get underway. Kyrou and Beniers once again on the draw. Let's actually win it this time. We do. Blues on the power play here, looking to get a goal. They only got 2 shots in this game. Big hit there by Power. He's actually going to help us get it out. Maybe we can get a shorthanded opportunity here. Power throws it on. Frank up here to Caulfield. Back to Frank. Here's Frank, a shot. He almost had it there. Our passing plays here. We got Beniers out in front. Puck is still loose. We can't get it. Here's McCann. Deeks on in. He scores. Jared McCann gets his first of the season. Deeks on in. It is now a 3-0 lead for the Seattle Kraken with just a little over 5 minutes left in this game. That's surely going to do it for us. Another tripping penalty here on the Kraken, and we're going to fall to the penalty kill once again. As Jacob DeBrus is going to get a rebound there. He's going to ruin our shutout. He's going to get a power play goal. Jet Reeves, solid performance there. After 12 shots, the Blues finally get one. We got it up to Eklund. Up to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield's going to get not his first goal. I thought he was going to get it. He hits the post. Blues still alive here. Are you serious? Now it's going to fall to Caulfield. Can he put it in this time? No, he can't. Cole Caulfield cannot get the empty netter whatsoever. It's ironic. He's got almost 50 goals in the current NHL. He's killing it. But I guess the empty net's what's stopping him in this game. Time winds down here. We're not going to get the empty netter. Blues looking for one more shot. It really doesn't matter because the Seattle Kraken are going to win the first game of the season here against the Blues. And we move. Unfortunately, no shutout here for Jet Reeves. but still a dominant win nonetheless, and he played terrific. Congratulations to Pedro Frank there, who played his first NHL game, a low elite there. We drafted him in the second round in 2029. We'll simulate to next month here. We'll simulate to November 11th, where we'll face the Kings on the road. Here we are now, November 11th against the LA Kings. The Seattle Kraken are top of the league with 20 points. The Blackhawks, they were 19 points, have 2 games in hand, but we're still very early into the season. We'll simulate the first 2 periods here. We'll jump into the third. All right, a huge first period here for the Kraken. We get 3 goals there on Carter George. The Kings will get 2 back, so we'll jump into this third period here. We got a nice little 2-goal cushion. Kings with a good opportunity here, denied by Greaves. Get all the way up here. We got Kamel. I know he's got speed. He can burn the defenseman here. Up to Cooley with a nice shot there. Another rebound there by McCann. But Carter George is going to cover. Up to Catton here. Nice little deke trying to get the rebound there. We couldn't. Full pressure, and obviously now we give it away in the zone. Charlie up to Catton. Throws a shot. What a save by Carter George. Eklund cuts across. Caulfield can't get the rebound. This man cannot score for his life right now. Full pressure here for the Kraken, which is funny because I think he scored in the first period simulation. But I just can't score with him in this game. Minute remaining here in the third. We have an opportunity to get one more back to Beniers. Nice little give and go there between Beniers and Caulfield. Back to Jet Greaves here. We're going to go for the empty netter. He's not going to get it. That's going to go wide. Try to have a little fun with that. And the Kraken are going to ice it. Kurashev. Oh, great pass out in front. Denied by Greaves. We'll have the empty net here. Kamel surely will ice it. And he will. So he'll get a win for us here. The Seattle Kraken, the top team in the NHL, are going to move along with another win. There it is, a 5-2 victory against the LA Kings here, a Pacific Division rival. All right, let's simulate a bit more onto the month of December now. We're having a hot start to the season. Let's keep it going here. We'll face another divisional opponent. This time I'm going to choose the reigning Stanley Cup champions here, the Vegas Golden Knights. They're not off to a hot start on their season. Here we are against the Vegas Golden Knights. We're still top of the league with 47 points. The only thing that's not in our favor here is the amount of games played. We have the most games played in the entire league. But yeah, same situation here. We'll jump into the third period against the Golden Knights, and we'll try to take down the reigning Stanley Cup champions. We jump off to a power play almost right away. Jack Eichel actually gets the first goal there for the Golden Knights, up to a 2-1 lead here. A 2-goal lead into the second period. So once again, we're going into the third period here with a 2-goal cushion. Here we are now in the third period. We're rocking our stealth mode alternates. Golden Knights versus Kraken. Here we are. Perek throws on a shot that's denied. Cole Caulfield there on the NHL points leaderboard. He's got 40 points on the year, 35 games in. That's absolutely huge. Barzal there on the Golden Knights. He's going to get a breakaway. The beautiful, sexy Matt Barzal. He's going to get denied. Vince Dunn there, a one-timer. He's denied. Kamel wide open. I probably should have passed it right there. Kamel. Power with the slap shot. What a nice slap shot there. It almost trickled in, but it didn't. Given away here. Good opportunity for the Golden Knights. They have a 3-on-2 as the Golden Knights do get back. Back to Shally behind the net. He throws on a shot. Snuggerud gets intercepted there. Pasternak signed with the Golden Knights as well, so they had a pretty solid free agency. That puck almost sneaks in there from Snuggerud. Full pressure here for the Kraken if we can win it back. The rookie, Pedro Frank, with the puck. Golden Knights pull the goalie here. Given away almost immediately as they pull the goalie if we can take it off. Barzal here hit by Nelson. I'm sorry, Maddie. You're a very sexy man, but I had to do it. Giving to McCann there. McCann's going to score. 13th goal of the season for Jared McCann. And that's going to wrap this game up here with 10 seconds left. A 5-2 victory, it looks like, for the Seattle Kraken. Time winds down here. Another victory for the Seattle Kraken. Another huge victory. I think I'm very confident in this team up to the point that we could simulate a little farther. I would even go as far as to say simulating to the trade deadline. We'll simulate to the month of February, and we'll see where we're at. If we're still dominating, we'll simulate to the trade deadline. I would like to get 40 wins before we reach 20 losses. That would be huge. So here we are in the middle of February. We have the Edmonton Oilers. We are at 69 points, which no longer puts us at top of the league, but the Red Wings, who do have the most points, have more games than us. So yeah, obviously we are top of the Western Conference, however, top of the Pacific. Obviously, the Avalanche do have some games on us, but I'm very confident in this team that we can simulate to the trade deadline, no issues. So we're going to do that. 34, 17, and 1. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at our stat leaders. Our point leaders here for our Seattle Kraken: Cole Caulfield right now, a point per game, 52 points, 52 games played. Eklund, only 9 goals on the season, but he still has 47 points because he's got 38 assists. Adam Fox, I mean, he's a defenseman. You really wouldn't expect many goals from him. 8 goals from him. 38 points from Beniers. So solid point production all around. It could be better, definitely. But nonetheless, we got a pretty solid group here. We could definitely get more offense from these guys. Jet Greaves, 29 wins, 45 games played. Still at an 83 overall. Solid stats, not bad. Austin Matthews is going to lead the NHL in points here. 73 points, 45 goals in 50 games. Does he lead the league in goals? He does. All right, so he leads the league in goals and assists. Connor Bedard there with 67 points. Same with Nylander there. So the Leafs players are not doing too bad. Cale Makar there on the Chicago Blackhawks, 66 points. Connor McDavid there, 59 points. He's got the same amount of points as Robert Thomas there on the Blackhawks. So obviously not the high scoring that we see in real life, but we still got plenty of season left. Here we are at the trade deadline. The top player that's available is Matvei Michkov from the Flyers, 91 overall. Brant Clark there at a 90 overall. So we're going to attempt this trade here with the New York Islanders. We're going to send Jared McCann, 35 years of age. Still a solid point producer. But for Victor Eklund, who is also a top point producer, mainly assists there. And obviously we have his brother on his team here. We're going to throw in a 3rd-round pick from the Islanders as well. They're going to reject that trade. We'll work on the draft pick. We'll try a 7th-round pick. They're still going to reject that. So I think at this point we just go 1-for-1 here. They're actually going to reject. Okay. We might have to give up assets of our own. We'll throw in our own 7th-round pick, see if that gets accepted. And that's all we needed, was a little 7th-round pick to make that trade happen. There we are. Victor Eklund, now a member of the Seattle Kraken. So we now have William Eklund and Victor Eklund on this team. Now that we have Pedro Frank called up to the NHL, I feel like it's very reasonable that we take offers here for Mason Lohrei, 31 years of age. Let's see what we can get for him. Maybe some draft picks would be nice. We're going to try this trade here, 1-for-1. Mason Lohrei. He's actually got 1 year left on his deal, so that's actually kind of perfect. And obviously, we're not playing him there. As you can see, 13 games. So if we can get a 1st-round pick for him, that would be pretty awesome. They're going to reject. So let's try a 4th-round pick maybe. And they're going to accept. All right, so Mason Lohrei and a 4th-round pick there. We get Carolina's 1st-round pick, which obviously by their record is going to be a high draft pick. Let's simulate the month of April, where hopefully we're clinched into a playoff spot by then. 41, 21, and 1 is our record. Here we are, post-trade deadline. 50 wins for our Seattle Kraken, 101 points in 73 games. We're the first team in the league to clinch a playoff spot, and a 12-game win streak is going to help us get to there, as we have that snapped by the Canucks out of all teams, but we get a win back against the Islanders. So I think it's just time we simulate to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oh, we clinch. All right, we clinch the West, I think, right? That's what Y means. Oh, we clinch our division. Okay. So I think if we win here, I think with a win here, we do clinch the President's Trophy. Simulate, and there it is. The Seattle Kraken are going to win the President's Trophy. Our first trophy with the Seattle Kraken. The President's Trophy here in 2032. 111 points. We still have 1 more game left here against the Blackhawks. We'll simulate that. 56, 25, and 1. I think that's our most impressive feat, is having 1 overtime loss. That would have been nice if we had 0, but, you know, it is what it is. I think it was very early on in the season here. Yeah, it was an overtime loss in November against the Oilers. Nonetheless, so 1 overtime loss. That might be a record. We might have just made NHL history. But let's make some more history here, as we have the Stanley Cup playoffs to look forward to. And let's make history by bringing home Lord Stanley. Our team leader in points is going to be Cole Caulfield, our newest, our free agent signing from the offseason. He'll put up 86 points. Kaprizov there for the Wild, as the Minnesota Wild are first-round opponents here. 43, 33, and 6. So without further ado, here we are, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's jump in. Game number 1 here against the Minnesota Wild. Simulate the first 2 periods as we normally do. And the Minnesota Wild are going to jump out to a 3-2 lead here after a 2-goal second period. Nikishin's going to make it a 2-goal game here for Minnesota. Not the situation we want to be in. As Victor Eklund to be specific, gets a shorthanded goal on Gustafsson. We still have time to get an equalizing goal. And there we are. Kamel ties the game up for us. And like we normally do in the playoffs, we're going to jump into overtime here. We come back from a 4-2 deficit. Game number 1, round number 1, the President's Trophy winners, the Seattle Kraken, have overtime. And here we are. Face-off won there by Minnesota. Caulfield intercepts. Can we end this early here? Played up to Marco Rossi. Kaprizov, we try to block his shot. Rossi gets a rebound. Caulfield dukes around. Caulfield misses. Dude, I cannot score an empty net with Caulfield to save my life. This man must be cursed. Or at least when I'm playing with him. Let's try to get one here if he can redeem himself. And what better time to do it in game number 1 of our first round matchup. Kaprizov dekes on in. Greaves comes out so far there. Right up to William Eklund. He's got Kamel. Kamel, who tied this game to send it to overtime. Boldy gets a shot that's blocked. Almost trickled in. Right up to Cooley. The power back to Cooley. We got Braden Point here on this Minnesota Wild team. That's interesting. Shane Wright wins a huge face-off there. Fox. Wrist shot tipped by Wright. Saved by Gustafsson. And we took a penalty? What penalty did we take? No. Ref's trying to screw us over here. I have no idea what just happened. Who took a penalty? Kamel. Victor Eklund steals it. He's got speed. Victor Eklund on a breakaway. Victor Eklund denied. Full pressure here for the Kraken. It's not really going to be much for them as the Wild come the other way. And Eriksson Ek is going to bury it. How does that go in? The Minnesota Wild win a thriller here after Victor Eklund had the opportunity to walk it off. Eriksson Ek comes the other way. Tucks it in. Minnesota wins game 1. And judging by the hats on the ice, that's a hat trick for Eriksson Ek. Watch this replay. Eklund denied by a desperation stop there. Gustafsson actually might have gotten an assist. All started really with that big hit by Point too. And the Minnesota Wild on the power play are going to take game 1. Here we are for game number 2 here at Climate Pledge Arena. We're going to bounce back after that overtime loss in game number 1. Simulate the first 2 periods here. The Wild come out to a 1-0 lead after 1. Seattle takes a 2-1 lead here. Snuggerud gets one with 6 seconds left. And we'll simulate the third period here. 5-on-3 for the Kraken. Tolvanen's going to get a goal. And a 2-man advantage. Back to the power play here. Nothing going on. Wild get a power play now. They got nothing going on either. As Marco Rossi gets a goal here. And that's going to do it. We keep them out, a 1-goal win, and we move on to game number 3 at Grand Casino Arena in Minnesota. Tied series here, 1-1. We'll simulate the first period. Nothing doing. Second period now. Matty Beniers short-handed is going to get us a goal here. So we have a 1-0 lead going into the third. Nothing doing for the Wild on the power play. Take a shot every time I say that. Pedro Frank gets his first career playoff goal here in the third period. He's going to double our lead. And hopefully he's going to give us a 2-1 series lead here. That's what's going to happen. The Seattle Kraken shut out the Minnesota Wild in game number 3. And we're on now to game number 4. And hopefully we could get a 2-game lead here. Game number 4 between these two teams. Seattle's going to come out to a 1-0 lead after the first thanks to Chalet. Minnesota's going to get one back in the second thanks to Marco Rossi. Now we simulate the third here as Berggren's going to get it for the Wild. Jonathan Berggren makes it 2-1. Vince Dunn with 5 minutes left in the game ties it up. Time winding down here as now we're in Minnesota. We're going to have overtime in game number 4. Let's not sell it like we did last time. Game number 4 here in the first round. Seattle Kraken 2-1 series lead. And we're here for overtime. Next goal wins. Straight into the Wild zone. We are looking to end it off early. Gustafsson gets a good save there. Kaprizov's play. Up to Shane Wright now. Down the middle. He's got speed. Shane Wright for it. Backhand. He scores. Backhand forehand, Shane Wright is going to score the overtime winner here in Game 4. The Seattle Kraken are going to return back to Seattle with a chance to win it in Game number 5 in front of the home fans. Absolutely huge here for the Seattle Kraken. Shane Wright came in with speed, and he finished it off there. Game, set, match. 3-2 overtime win in Game number 4 as we look to finish it off here in Game number 5 in front of our home fans. Without further ado, let's simulate. First period, nothing going on for both teams. Second period, Nikishin's going to get one for the Wild here as we fall behind going into the third. As Kaprizov's going to double the lead here for Minnesota on the power play. I believe that's his first goal of the series, if I'm not mistaken. So that's good that we're keeping him out. Pedro Frank gets on the board here, makes it 2-1 for Seattle. We still have time to get the equalizer. Hopefully another come-from-behind win for us. As time's going to run out here in Game number 5. We're going to go back to Minnesota for Game number 6. We still have the series lead. We'll look to finish it off there. Game number 5 here between the Kraken and the Wild. First period is going to be Matty Beniers who gives us a 1-0 lead. And we're going to explode here for a 3-goal second period, 4-1 lead for the Seattle Kraken. We'll simulate the third period. We have a huge cushion here, and I'm not going to say anything just yet. Kamel is going to make it 5-1. And surely that's going to put the nail on the coffin here for the Minnesota Wild. They fought a hard series, but it's going to be the Seattle Kraken who come out on top. Will Cooley says we're not done yet. He's going to tack on another. And that's going to do it. A 6-1 win closes out this series for the Seattle Kraken as we await our second round opponents here. First round is complete. As we're going to take on William Eklund's former team, the San Jose Sharks, 40-32-10 in the regular season. That's not really the best, but they've made it this far into the playoffs. Let's just perform and let's get on with the playoffs here. First period underway. We jump out to a 2-1 lead. William Eklund there against his former team, not even a minute into this game. Second period, we have a 2-goal cushion thanks to Berkeley Catton. We'll simulate the third period. Sharks get one back. Time runs out on them, though. The Seattle Kraken are going to win Game number 1 here in the second round against the Sharks. Obviously, the best thing about being the President's Trophy winner is the home ice advantage. It's definitely huge. Here we are for Game number 2 here. Simulate the first 2 periods. We're going to have a 1-1 score after 2 as the Sharks get one. As Caulfield is going to get one right back. We have a tied game once again. And Kamel's going to give us the lead here. The Kraken now have the lead in this game. Caulfield gets another one. Cole Caulfield's on fire. The Seattle Kraken jump out to a 2-0 series lead here against the San Jose Sharks. Here we are for Game number 3. We'll simulate the first 2 periods. The Sharks are going to jump out to a 2-0 lead. Celebrini gets his first goal of the series. We'll simulate the third period. Belkets makes it 3-0 for the Sharks. Time runs out. Berkeley Catton gets one back, but that's not going to be enough. The Sharks now are deficit, or their deficit rather, is 2-1. As we look to get a win on the road, that would be huge here in Game number 4. Simulate the first period up to a 2-0 lead here in the game. A 2-goal lead after 2. 3-1 lead. Period number 3 here. Kaiser and Celebrini gets one with 3 minutes left. The Kraken score! Yes! Kamel scores with a minute left. Eklund seals the deal on an empty net against his former team. And that's gonna do it. Game number 4 is a victory here. We jump out to a 3-1 series lead against the Sharks here in round number 2. As we look to close it off here back at home, Climate Pledge Arena. Let's do it. Game number 5. 2-2 after 1. 3-3 after 2. Let's look to close it off here. Kraken on the power play. And they're going to get a goal right after the power play. It's Kamel once again. He's killing it right now. As time winds down, it looks like Joaquin Kamel is going to be the Sharks killer. That's going to do it. The Seattle Kraken are off to the Western Conference Finals. My mic's starting to break up. That sucks. It's unfortunate, but it's perfect timing as this episode's going to come to an end here as we're going to go on to the Western Conference Finals. We'll play those games next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to follow my socials and stay tuned as we find out our Western Conference Finals opponent. Thank you guys so much. And of course, let's go Kraken.